terrible jokes. I know they're all out there.
I hope the editor removes that. Welcome to Disparate Worlds, where an irresistible force meets an immovable object. I'm Mox, and this is Sechari, and we are comparing and contrasting the worlds of Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen, and Ashes of Creation.
Yes, indeed we are. Hello and welcome to you, friends. Welcome to episode number 29, where we have more to cover than a pox on Mox.
That rocks.
It does rock. I worked so hard on that one, man. Come on, give me some credit.
I gave you lots of credit.
As granted, it was kind of mean. I know. I apologize.
It was mean. That's all right. If I catch the plague, it's all your fault.
Right. Hey, friends, we would like to ask for your support in liking and subscribing to our channel. Of course, it helps us out and helps to perpetuate our very terrible jokes.
Absolutely, and don't forget to leave a comment. That also helps the YouTube algorithm gods.
Yes, right. I'll give them the offering. Here, please. Like us. Yeah, so this episode, we're going to try to make this short again. And, we're trying to... 15 minutes, here's hoping, right?
Here's hoping.
We have a couple things to cover for Pantheon news that are recent. Obviously, there was a Cohh-Carnage interview that the Chris's met with him, Chris Rowe and Chris Perkins, also known as Joppa. So they did that in lieu of the July Developer Roundtable. And then, of course, there was the producers letter that came out in July. So we're going to kind of cover both. They kind of both pointed to the same stuff. So we'll touch on that this episode. So that is our plan. Stick with us straight ahead. All right. So before we begin, Mr. Mox, I just wanted to throw out there that I took my oath of allegiance today. So as of this episode... Having grown up, having been born and raised in South Africa and then becoming an American citizen, I am now an African American. Okay. Sorry, but I know, terrible jokes, I know. They're all out there.
I hope the editor removes that.
So, all right, so let's go into our plan for this episode. Again, we just mentioned kind of what that was. We'll be touching on Cohh and the July producers letter. What we're going to be doing for the next few episodes, I imagine, is prioritizing the news. So we're gonna, if something newsworthy comes out, we're gonna touch on it. We're gonna unpack it. That's the plan. But I'm sure that there are episodes in the coming weeks that we'll be able to throw in addition to those things, based on all of the catch up we have to do. Right? We have a lot we got to catch up on. So look forward to that. There's gonna be, and it's gonna be some commentary on some old stuff. So just a heads up. If it's news, it's news. If it's not, it's old news. Right? But we're getting caught up. Yep. So that's the plan. Yeah. So, Mox, tell us, what was your first impressions of the interview with Cohh and the Chris's?
Well, I didn't realize he had such deep pockets, first of all. You sent me a message and said, Cohh donated the $2.4 million. I was like, no, I think he misunderstood that.
Surely.
He said he donated a very small portion of it. Now small portion is a, subjective term. So, to him, what is a small portion might be like a huge amount of money to you or I, or you or me, I guess. But it's great. And, that just goes into the multi-pronged money-raising, fundraising plan that this strategy that Pantheon has had. They've had investors that are, like, as they mentioned in there, they're accredited. They have money to risk. They're not taking grandma's medication money. That was specifically mentioned. I kind of found that to be funny. Yeah. And while people like me, I consider myself an investor, but I'm on the crowdfunding level, so it's it's like a micro investor. Right. I didn't get a share of the company for what I put in. I got some perks. The hopes of getting perks down the road in the game. Yeah. So and nothing pay to win. You can check all these things out, including their new package, the Scion of the Black Rose. It's in the champion level. It's got a gold emblem on it. It's right at the end of it. It's right above the non-VIP, right above the VIP stuff. So check that out. So you got the fundraising, you got the pledges, and then the people that donate their time to get it. They mentioned that the people they have been working super hard, even past their normal work hours. So that's a donation of sorts as well.
It is, right? Time is money. Hey, that's what they say. So
exactly.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to have links to all of this stuff, right? The July producers letter, the Cohh interview, links down below in the description. Also to the pledge packages, but you'll just have to scroll down to see what's in that Scion package. It is pretty advanced, right? There's a lot in it. You're right before the VIP, so anything after that is the biggest levels of stuff. So,
right. And the game couldn't have a better ambassador than Cohh.
Yes.
He is super excited. You could tell every time he gets his chance to talk to these guys, the developers and team over there, or he gets to like play the game. He's like a kid in a candy store. So it's fantastic. I'm a big fan of his, and he's going to have exclusive rights to stream during the pre-alpha, the upcoming pre-alpha, which is amazing. Like, I was like, oh, we can stream, and unfortunately, Kilson said, no, we're just gonna have him stream for now, and then we'll, they're apparently working on a streamer deal for future.
Yes, right. So there's, I imagine, maybe not, like, they're lifting the NDA so that you can do some stuff, but kind of maybe managed. I don't know. Like, there's I'm sure some terms associated with that Cohh is going to
They're going to have some sort of program where you're going to have to agree to certain things, like you can only stream certain times or a certain amount or during certain sessions or whatever it is, but there's going to be some application process, and it's all going to be apparently headed up and run by Ben.
Yes.
Ben the Bean Dean.
Yes. Hopefully drop some.
Not No Beans Dean, it's Ben the Bean Dean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Definitely.
So you got Cohh, you got money, and we have apparently the big question. One of the big questions came up was how are they going to spend this money? And I was shocked and dismayed that they weren't like cutting me a check.
Right. Pay your testers. What?
But yeah, exactly.
They don't need testers so much.
But they mentioned that they're going to be hiring people. Art is a focus now, so they're going to be hiring artists. They've already added artists, and they're up to 35 people on staff, which is. It's a nice-sized company.
Yeah, 24 of whom are full-time, right? And the rest are part-timers. But they even mentioned that the part-timers tend to put in more than part-time. So I imagine that,
more than almost full-time.
Yeah, I mean, like, this started as a passion project in a garage, right? That was the thing. Is like it was a passion project. I imagine that there's still a lot of people working on this project for whom it is a passion project, right? If you can get to where you can get supported to be working on it full-time, that's great. But we're talking about the ways that people invest, and some people it's time. There are still a chunk of developers that are putting in time above time, right? That's how they are contributing to the success of this project. Very good.
I mean, look how Ronick tests the death mechanic.
Right.
I mean, there is nobody more dedicated to testing the death mechanic than Ronick.
And even if it's not testing quite the death mechanic, it's certainly testing the near-death mechanic.
Right, which they mentioned. So, which got some major tweaks and such. Crazy. So, so if you're an artist, keep an eye out on the Visionary Realms page. They might be looking for you.
Yes. Yeah. So
Visionary.
Yeah, definitely look. Keep an eye out for sure. And that's what they're scaling up at this point right now, right? Because they touched on ViNL. We had to make sure that we spelled this correctly, right? Because I went writing our notes. I was like ViNYL, right? Like a record.
That's right.
I was wrong. So, Mox, what is it? What is the correct way to spell it? And
apparently, it's ViNL. With the NL being capitalized, and apparently it stands for Visionary Realms Network Library.
Yes. So it's proprietary. And
this was
right.
Right, they developed this. It was apparently industry groundbreaking. Other companies have kind of taken notice of this and been like, "Hey, that's kind of interesting for an MMO." And that could be another source of revenue for them. If they license it out to other companies, it could be somewhere where they could bring more money into the company. So, and it basically has allowed them some flexibility in their design and speed things up, because everything is about, it's like, especially with artwork, when you have redundant assets. It's about getting them placed and changing them so it's not exactly the same all the time.
Right. But now, so it isn't an art-related thing. It's about network efficiency, right? I don't want to get too technical here because I agree. Everyone's eyes will glaze over, and that makes sense, right? But think about how complex MMOs are. I mean, even in thinking through this, I was like, goodness, I move from here to there, right? I have to communicate that to the server, and the server has to tell everyone else that I've moved from here to there. Not only that, everyone else is moving around, and it's got to communicate that to me and to everyone else. When you talk about how much of a challenge that is just moving, right? Scalable, then people are equipping certain things, people are storing certain things. There's so much chatter going back and forth between your client and the server, and it has to keep everything up. That is a huge challenge. And to have a proprietary kind of way that does that, right? Now, every MMO has to do that to some degree, but they have an in-house developed way that they themselves are going to use it, and that's cool, right? Because if you can manage that, you're not subject to whatever else is out there in the industry, and you're just having to use whatever version is out there, and be and if it's inefficient, then it just is what it is. They can continue to improve that underlying tool set. So I think that's very cool.
It is. And then I would say the last, really, really noteworthy thing from from that was kind of at the end. It nearly was an afterthought, but it's super important to us. Yes. It obviously is super important to Cohh, and that is how will Visionary Realms deal with bannable offenses and community, as you put in the notes here, no-nos. Like things that people shouldn't be doing, that can, and Joppa mentioned this, cause irreversible damage to a server. So they have appointed, and they haven't announced the person yet, a conduct and security manager to handle this. So my guess is, number one, they're probably going over the terms of service with the legal team, make sure that all stuff is all buttoned up, and then they will probably have some sort of, hey guys, this is what's going to happen. This is going to be the tier of responses. If you do X, then you get a warning. If you do Y, you get a temporary ban. If you do Z, see you later. Thanks for so long. Thanks for the fish.
Right. So there's kind of two levels to that, right? You have to develop what those rules are. There's got to be some governance that you put in place. Then you've got to communicate that
announced.
Out. Right,
exactly.
So everybody knows, right? So then you've got to get that out. And then there's the enforcement aspect of it, like leading a team.
And that's usually where companies fail, is in the enforcement. They're either too slow or they're too harsh.
Right.
One or the other.
Right.
And neither is good for a community.
And it's a challenge, right? Because especially if it's a subscriber. Now, they mention in this that they don't know if subscriber is quite where they're going yet. There's still a lot to be decided in there.
They're like 90% towards there, I think, from what the CEO said.
Yeah, but they don't want to commit, and that's fine, right? I wouldn't commit either. But you think about that kind of like a subscriber type of model. If you ban people from being able to play your game, they won't pay for the time that they can't play the game, right? So you're always kind of in that tough between a rock and a hard place in that regard. So whoever this conduct and security manager is, they're certainly going to have their job cut out for them, right? It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be following that because we want a non-toxic community. Having played games where toxicity was king, I definitely don't want to see that in Pantheon.
Right, absolutely.
So, all right, well, check us out on our socials, facebook.com/Disparate Worlds. Our Twitter is @Disparate Worlds, and our website is disparateworlds.org. And if you choose to support us, we've launched our Patreon at patreon.com/Disparate Worlds. Feel free to check that out. It's new, and we're just kind of getting it started, and it may expand down the road. Also, don't forget to check out on our website, and in the description is a link to our Discord. Check us out there, chat with us, harass us, send us memes, put funny hats on me and put them in Discord. I'm all for all that stuff.
Yes. Hey, if you can put a funny hat on Mox and it looks pretty good, we may use it in one of our thumbnails. So hey, let's throw that out.
You never know.
Okay, that'll be it for us this episode, guys. Thank you definitely for watching. Again, your support is critical to what we're trying to do here. We love having our community around us. We very much appreciate you guys. You are awesome. So do the thing, right? Drop the comment if you can. Give us a like, the subscribe. Again, as always, hit the notification bell. That's critically important as well, so that way you do not miss upcoming episodes. all of that said, take care of yourselves and remember always to be immovable in your principles and irresistible in your passion.